We are in a full moon in Libra. We're currently under it now. It is currently happening. We've already reached the peak a few hours ago. So full moons are all about a culmination point, a completion, and ending, a releasing, a letting go. So when we look at the full moon, it's at the end of the cycle. So we start with the new moon, which is all about the new beginnings, the seeds we're planting, refresh, restart, all those themes. And then 2 weeks later, we come into the full moon. And the full moon is where we come to the end of that cycle then of the culmination. What we planted back at the new moon is then coming to the ending point at that full moon. It's an ending point. So it's not exactly that's the end point, because the cycle is much bigger. You know, the cycles for the moon, it's actually 6 months. So this cycle is actually going back to a 6-month cycle when we had a new moon in Libra. So the new moon in Libra would have been during Libra season, which was last year, October. So from back then, this is now the culmination, the completion, the end point from that new moon that we started in Libra. So whatever seeds we planted back then are now coming to this culmination, this completion, this ending point, this celebration, this reflection part of the cycle. So the full moon, we're now reflecting back on that cycle and coming to a point of now where the moon, so we have the moon and the sun in an opposition. That's what creates this full moon. So the sun is illuminating the moon. So it's bringing up our feelings and emotions and how we feel, so we can reflect on them and reflect on that past 6 months and reflect on that cycle, reflect on where we are at, where we are now. Hello, beautiful Stephanie. Thank you for joining. I'm glad it's all working properly. This is my first time streaming on YouTube. So we're at the reflection part now. We're reflecting back where we're at another perspective too. We're seeing things from another perspective. So when we've got that full moon, the sun is that release point. It's the other perspective. It's where we're seeing things from another view, basically. So when we're looking at this Libra full moon, we're looking at the Libra Aries axis too. So we're looking at Libra being all about peace and harmony and balance. It's all about relationships and relating to the other. It's all about how we interact with everything outside ourselves, relate with the outside world. Aries is ourselves, the start. It's the first sign. It's the initiation. And then Libra is the opposite there. It's where we then come out to interact with the world. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it. And so the Libra full moon is illuminating with relationships too, where we may be giving too much, or someone or something else is taking too much from us, or we're not taking enough back from that. We're trying to find that balance and that give and that take. Libra sign is very much about the people pleaser. It, likes to keep the balance and harmony. So it can bottle things up. It can, not say things and speak up because it's trying to keep that peace and harmony and balance within the relationships and with the other. So it's, where we don't do what's right for ourselves necessarily always, because we're trying to make sure that that we don't hurt others or upset anyone else, and we're taking other people's perspectives into considerations and feelings and everything else as well. So now Libra is also, so when we're talking about the Libra and Aries, it's it's mirroring back to us. So all relationships are a mirror for us. So what's going on inside us is a reflection of our external world. And when people come into our life, whether it's for a season, a reason, a lifetime, it's to teach us, to help us grow, to learn. Those relationships aren't always meant to be forever either. Sometimes, we just have teachers come into our life, or people come in and trigger us so that it brings up an opportunity to heal and for our wounds to come to the surface. So Libra's a sign that avoids conflict in that sense too, because it doesn't want to have that fighting, that nastiness, that Aries energy. So that Aries energy is about the warrior and standing up for what we believe in, and going after what we want, what we desire, what's right for us. So the Libra and the Aries energy is a clashing energy because it's the opposite signs there. And a full moon, we're trying to bring those two energies back into balance, into harmony. So it's what we want, what's right for us. That's where the sun is. The sun's all about our identity. It's what lights us up, what makes us happy. It's illuminating an area of our chart that is an interest for us, that is part of our soul purpose, that our soul wants to express in some way. So in Aries, it's all about the self. It's all about us. It's all about, what we want to go after, what we're driven towards, our ambition. So this full moon too, in that sense, is a chance to see, what other people's selves are, what their identities, what they're about, and what their needs and wants are too, and then trying to see if we can work those out together and come to some kind of understanding or agreement. We may not necessarily agree or have the same decision, want to do the same things and want the same wants and desires, but we can come to some kind of understanding where we can either compromise, or we can just decide that you can do your thing, I can do my thing, or we can do our own things and still stay together, or we need to go our separate ways, or whatever it is. And this is all relationships too. It's one-on-one relationships, how we relate with others. So it's not necessarily your boyfriend, girlfriend. It can be your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your business partnerships, any of those that are coming to light now. And it's going to depend on what area of your chart this full moon's falling in, which we'll go through after this chat about it in general. I'll go through each sign where it's going to be falling, and then there's an opportunity, if anyone's around, that I'll have a look at your chart, and we can have a look and see where it is actually falling, and if it's hitting any planets or anything in particular that might be affecting you. Okay, so all right, lost my thought there. All right, so okay, so I have the chart up here so we can have a look. So we have the sun here in Aries, is what we're speaking about, and we have the moon here in Libra. So they're in that opposition now. Oh, hello, beautiful Emma. How are you? Thanks for joining us. I hope you're well. So this is the opposition. This is the full moon. So the sun lighting up over here, illuminating that moon. So that area of our life as well. So the moon is our feelings, it's our emotions, it's our internal self. It's that side of ourself that's more hidden and secretive, that not everyone sees, that only sometimes those that are close to us see, depending if we wear our heart on our sleeves, or, depending where the moon is in our chart, what sign it's in, everything like that. It all depends. So, hello, Giblet. All right. So we can see that there's this opposition here, and we've spoken about the signs. Let me see what else. I've written some notes so I do stay on track a little bit, but also want to let it just flow a bit as well, which is why I'm doing the live and not recording the video this week. So it can be a bit more flowy, and I can talk about more as it naturally, intuitively comes to me. So Libra is also the sign of judgment, and it's like the judge. So because it's like, it's looking at all the different perspectives, it's sitting on the fence. It's very much a fence sitting sign, and that's why Libra, it is the sign. Sometimes it's hard to make decisions, and they can come across quite indecisive, and it's an indecisive sign because they can see so many different perspectives that it's hard to make a decision, because they can see that the benefits here, the negatives here, how it's going to affect this person, how it's going to affect that person, or this situation and that, and the different outcomes and stuff. And that makes it hard to make a decision sometimes, because there's just, you're considering everything. And with that Aries energy, you're not considering everything and everyone, you're just considering that one angle of what you want and what you want to go after, and that's it. So it's very much the opposite of that. So it's the judge too. So, you know, they can be a bit judgmental, because that sign, that energy. So we can be judging ourselves, judging other people, judging our relationships, judging our interactions with others, judging everything right now because of that energy. And it's all about judging from the point of perspective. So you can, you know, trying to analyze. It's an analytical sign. It's a social sign, that Libra energy. So we want to talk, we want to think, we want to analyze things and get things out and try and work them out as well, and, you know, try and work out so we can have that peace and that harmony and that balance, which is, you know, what Libra wants. So and it's Libra can be a cold sign too, because it's more it's not emotional, it's more analytical. It's an air sign, so it cannot be as emotional. It can come across a bit cold, and, you know, the not as you know, yeah, as watery. Basically, it's not a water sign, so it's not going to be up front with its feelings and emotions. The feelings and emotions are being processed more, not felt, basically. So according to ancient astrology too, fire signs are emotions, not water. Waters are more intuition and whatnot. And the fire sign is the emotions. It's what's fueling us inside and all that. So, you know, that fiery energy we've got, you know, and it's, you know, it does make sense in this when you think about Aries, because Aries is very much a reactive sign. It's like, do things without thinking. It's very, gets emotionally fired and driven up, and can be quite harsh, and say things without thinking, and just like be cutting, and just and it can be a bit nasty, because it's just saying what it thinks and what it feels, and not thinking about the other, basically. So when we're looking at Aries too, Aries is that first sign. It's initiation, so it's initiation into the world. When we come into the world, you know, who do we and because it's talking about the sun, it's, you know, what we identify as. Who are we identifying as in this world? Who we're identifying with within our relationships as well. That's a part of this that is going to come up. Okay, so all right, so the ruler, we want to talk about the ruler. So the ruler is the ruler of this full moon. So the ruler is Venus. So Venus rules Libra. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. And we want to see where Venus is as well. Just let me get rid of this because Pluto's confusing. We'll talk about Pluto in a sec as well. So we want to look at Venus as well. So Venus is in Pisces. So we have 4 planets in Pisces at the moment. We've got Mars, Venus. So down here we've got Mars, we've got Venus. There's Venus in Pisces at 12 degrees. And we've got Neptune and Jupiter as well in Pisces. So we have a lot of Pisces energy at the moment going on. And that Pisces energy is all about spirituality, and it's all about, it's a water sign, so it's all about our intuition and our higher self and our connection with God, the universe. It's also a sign that is there's another side of it, you know, there's the spiritual side of Pisces, and then there's the more deceptive escapism side, the illusionary side, the dreamy romantic escapism side. There's you know, there's good signs and bad parts to everything, and it's not necessarily good or bad. It's all about integrating all the energies and you know, just expressing them in healthy ways. So when we're looking at this Pisces energy too, Venus and Pisces, so Venus is you know, what we love, our love language. It's what we value, it's the way we give and receive love, and she's in that Pisces energy, so she's exalted in Pisces. She's in her favorite position, and she's able to be super romantic and super dreamy, and our you know, our love language and all that becomes more romantic, more passionate, more intuitive, more connected. We want more deep spiritual connections, more soul connections, connections that are, you know, that are godly, that are that are a divine connection, you know, that feel like they are have, you know, it's like soulmates in a sense, you know. And, you know, Venus is eventually going to catch up later in the month to Neptune too. And, you know, that is that sort of soulmate energy too when those two come together. So Mars has just moved into Pisces too. So Mars moving into Pisces is, you know, our Mars is our aggression, it's our drive, it's our desires, it's what we're going after. So that can be more spiritual now. We can be going after things that are more on a soul purpose, more compassionate, more, we can be more understanding, we can, you know, be less reactive and more softened with our actions and our drive, and that more masculine side of us in that Pisces sign. It's more softer and more about unconditional love and tuning into ourselves as well. So Venus there in Pisces and all that, you know, Pisces energy we've had going on now. We've just had Neptune and Jupiter conjunct in Pisces, which is, you know, energy that hasn't happened for 166 years and won't happen again for another 166 years. So it's once in a lifetime energy, these two coming together in their home sign. And I've already made other videos about that, so we won't get into that too much. But yeah, so Venus is wanting to feel good. She's wanting to be connected. She's wanting to be, have those soul connections. She's wanting to have her, you know, be able to go after her dreams and what makes her feel good and also saying that too, that Neptune energy, Neptune being the ruler of Pisces too, Neptune is that higher octave of Venus. It is that divine love, that soulmate love as well. So Venus too, Venus being the ruler, and Venus is, you know, has been doing a dance with Mars for the, you know, was doing a dance with Mars for the last few months too. So we've had a lot of relationship energy happening anyway for the past few months with all that there. So this is definitely all about, you know, relationships, and about getting in line with those right divine relationships that are for a higher, bigger purpose, that are for the future. Because the ruler of the North Node too, which is our destiny, it's what we're moving towards, what the collective is, learning, integrating spiritually, opening up to as well, at North Node in Taurus. So in Taurus, which is Venus ruled sign too. So it's, you know, that Venusian energy is super strong within the collective and the energy, and what, you know, our destined energy as well, what we're moving towards. Okay, so the just make sure I didn't miss anything there. So the next big thing about this too is this full moon is Pluto. So it's probably the most important thing. So we have, you know, a normal full moon in Libra, which is everything we spoke about, the releasing, the letting go, the relationships, all that stuff. But then Pluto comes into the picture now. So up here we have Pluto. Pluto's at 28 degrees and we've got the sun and moon here at 26 degrees. So it's less than 2 degrees. Sorry, it's just over 2 degrees. But this is creating a T-square here. See the T. We've got a square here and a square here. Whoops. So this is creating some tension. So a square is Saturn-like. It's difficult. It's Saturn is all about restriction. So it's restricting. It's forcing us to change in some way, to take another path, to detour, to stop as well, because it's Saturn's all about timing too. So it's forcing us to stop and either detour or break, or, you know, reconsider in a way that is where we're looking at our responsibilities and the way we're showing up and all of that stuff too. So it's very much an energy that like stops us to like redirect us in some way. So Pluto is the destroyer. Pluto's the god of the underworld. Pluto is all about transformation and change. It's the phoenix rising. So it's that death, birth, transformation, healing. So we go into the ashes. So we go into the dark depths of ourselves. We do the healing and the work and the transformation, and then we come out new, refreshed out the other side. I thought you went live on YouTube. I am live on YouTube. This is the first time I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on both. I'm being naughty and dual streaming, but yeah, I'm live on both. Yeah, so it's my first time live on YouTube. Pluto is power struggles too. So Pluto's all about, so it's that death, transformation, that healing, coming out of the ashes, rebirthing into something new. It's all about power and power struggles. It's secrets, it's death, it's transformation, healing, it's intimacy, it's the dark side of things, the shadow side. So it's what's buried deep down inside ourselves. And because we've got this square with the moon too, our deep dark emotions and feelings, what we hide deep inside, what we don't show, or what's been buried deep and down that we haven't brought to the surface, this is bringing it to the surface. It's bringing up our shadow side, it's bringing out our secrets, it's bringing out our trauma to be healed. It's our deepest desires coming to the surface. And it's those deep desires that we keep bottled down deep inside, that we're too scared to share or reveal or show to others. That's what becomes the shadow within us. And when we bring that out, that shadow side, we learn to integrate it. Then it's not, hidden anymore, and it's not like trauma, and it's not something that is, causing it to be a power struggle anymore. It's part of us being in our power and stepping into our power instead. So with that too, we've got that square with the moon. It also causes a square with the sun, and the moon is fast moving. The moon is changing signs every 2.5 days. The sun is a 28-day cycle. So the moon, sorry. So it's important to follow the moon because it's our emotions, our feelings. We're 70 to 80% water. It controls the earth, the tides, it controls so much. So the moon is affecting us on a daily basis, and following the moon and the moon cycles, especially as women too, because we know we have that same cycle, then it helps us to understand our feelings and emotions, connect to the world and what's going on. So the moon, because it's fast moving, is not going to have as much, because it's a full moon, it will, but I mean, it's going to be ending, it's going to be moving out of that square with Pluto over the next few days. But the sun is slower moving. It's only moving 1 degree a day. So it's going to be in this square for longer. It's only at 26 degrees, the sun, you can see here. We're at 26 degrees. Pluto's at 28 degrees. So the sun's still got another 2 days till it actually comes to that exact conjunction with Pluto. And then there's a couple of days after where it's going to move away as well. So we've got, like you could say a week of that, or 5 days, or whatever it is of, I'd say at least a week, of that intensity of the Pluto and the sun in a square. So what is Pluto and the sun squaring? What's more of that, and what does that mean? Okay. Oh, I'm just looking at chats and stuff has happened. I don't know what's happening. Oh, there's people. Okay, there's people from Twitch. I don't know what's happening from here. I can't see. I'm only looking at OBS, so I can see both chats together, YouTube and Twitch. But hello everyone that's coming here. I'm assuming, I don't want to assume anything, but I have some feeling it's something to do with my bestie, maybe. I don't know. But thank you all for being here, or saying hi. And saying hi, I should say. Okay, so so the sun, so Pluto has been in Capricorn as well, and Pluto is in Capricorn, is that transforming, it's the destroyer, all that stuff. Pluto wants evolution, wants us to evolve, and it's been in Capricorn, and it's been, that Capricorn energy has been all about our values, our goals, what we want to build and create in the world. It's our legacy, what we're really wanting to commit to long term and see out, and what will, what we can show up for, and what we'll be able to, bring us our internal, you know, strength and power to be able to evolve and, you know, go out into the world and achieve, basically. So okay, so the other thing about Pluto too to note is that what else has Pluto been doing in Capricorn? So this ties back to Venus and Mars. So Venus and Mars were conjunct with Pluto back in, I want to say, Feb now. Oh, it's been such a big few months with so many transits, so many big things happening. Transits that, like, you know, happen once in a lifetime, or not much in lifetimes, and just big things happening. Like Pluto was is going through its own 260-year cycle and transit and whatever itself. So we're coming to the end of one. And so Venus and Mars coming together, that was about our values, our passions, our love, our desires, our wants, our needs, all of that coming together, our love coming through with Pluto to transform, to heal, to break down what's no longer working, to bring to the surface, to illuminate all that stuff that needed to be healed so that we could get into the right divine partnerships and relationships, so we can have the right values, the right desires, the truthful ones too, because Pluto is all about truth and coming into the truth of things and what's real and what is really our true deep desires, basically. So all of that so that we can move forward into our true soul path, again, because Pluto wants us to evolve. So Pluto in this Sun square, so it's all about our ego and our identification, because it's that Aries energy too. I can't keep up with chat on here. It's hard. I'm so sorry. It's different on here. I'm looking at different stuff. Hi, Mayby. Oh, maybe. What am I saying it wrong? I can't even say your name today. I can't even think properly. Oh my god. Holy beautiful shining soul. Jed King, you gifted a sub to someone. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. This is hard in here. Oh, someone else subbed? I'm confused. What's going on? Oh. Thank you, whatever's going on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone and your support. Okay, so all right, so Pluto and the Sun. So all right, so Pluto too, in that Capricorn energy. So this is a big this is like outside pressure too, because it's a square. We're being forced in some way to change, to transform, to transmute. So it's where we've possibly had too many boundaries, too many walls up, where we've had trust issues, where we've had issues of control, where we're not letting things or people into our life, where we're restricting ourselves in some way, and restricting ourselves from that soul happiness, from that soul growth, from the evolution, from evolving, from what our happiness is, what lights us up, what brings that joy, what we identify with that makes us happy as well, is a big part of that. So it's a big part of letting go of what is taking too much from us, where we're giving our power away, or if we're giving away our power to too many outside sources or people or things. Like, it can be something as simple as like you giving your power away to social media by spending too much time on it, or something like that, you know. And it's restricting you from being in your true happiness and living your true self because you're too busy focused on everyone else and everything else that's going on, or something like that as well. So it's yeah, where we're restricting ourselves from moving forward and trusting the divine, trusting the universe, you know, that everything has a divine plan, that everything's working out for us as it should be. You know, it's teaching us about connections and connecting with others, and about integrating ourselves with the world and into the world with others. And yeah, so one part of that is too, is like all the restrictions and being like locked down for so long too, with all the stuff going on in the world. It's like we now need to come out and integrate again and like be with others and connect, basically. So anywhere in our life where we're hesitating, where we're feeling stuck, where we're unsure, where we don't know how to change or anything like that, that's a big point that we need to let go, wherever the hesitation is, basically. Please also like this on YouTube if you're following on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my YouTube at the moment. That's my focus, to get this more out there, as it's so much easier to grow on YouTube, as we know that. And also share if you can, and like the video to help, please. I would appreciate that. Okay, so that Aries sun energy too is all about being courageous and being strong, and it's all about standing in our strength and our power. It's vitality too. So it's getting in our strength and our power and moving away from, you know, what's restricting us and holding us back from being in our true power. Okay, so what else have I written here to bring up? All right, so because we've come up against the wall and we can't go any further, something's not showing up for us, or we don't value the same energy as something else, or the, you know, what we're valuing, it's just not working. There's something there. So some deep desire that related with Pluto, so, you know, something that we really want deep down isn't working, and it's something we need to release and we need to let go. So that Pluto energy, so that transformation, so it's we really need to step into the power of who we are and who we're identifying as, and we're being pushed to transform like a butterfly. So it's not just like the phoenix, but like a butterfly. So it's going within, taking that time to heal within the cocoon, and then coming out as fresh, new, who we truly are, like who we really want to be. Okay, so that's square as well. So the square is such a big thing too with this, because so the sun is our soul, is what lights up, what makes us happy. It's our vitality. It's our resilience there too in Aries. So the sun and moon too in these squares is bringing up a part of us too within our relationships, but also it can bringing up stuff within the mother and the father. So us as a mother and a father, or issues or things around our mother or our father. So so I did write some notes about this. Where did I write it now? Okay. Sorry, I was channeling a lot of information this morning and I had to keep writing notes so I didn't forget anything important. Otherwise I lose it later on and forget. Okay, so the sun being that masculine energy, so that can represent masculine, the men, the father in our life, the moon, women, our mother in our life as well. So any wounds coming to the surface, because Pluto is bringing up wounds to the surface to be illuminated, to be healed with these two luminaries there, the sun and the moon. So it's part of this too, because it's about the identity and the self too, is like us stepping into a true power of who we are and not just being the mother. So if we're someone that's been at home with children for the last 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is basically, or maybe it's like the last 5 years while they're little and now you want to like step out and do your thing, and you know, it's about us knowing that there's more for us in the world. Like we have a soul purpose. We're not here just to be the mother and the father. Yes, we're here to do that and to bring help raise other beings into the world that can shine their light and do their thing and, you know, make the world a better place and all that stuff. That's only a part of our identity and who we are, the mother, the father, whatever it is. There's more to that than us, and this is illuminating that. This is helping us to transform and heal and change ourselves so that we can step into the power of other identities and other roles within our life as well. So it's also bringing up about us being the mother to ourselves and nurturing ourselves and caring for ourselves, and us fathering and being the father to ourselves and protecting ourselves and being the guide as well. So we need to bring those walls down as well, between those relationships with, you know, those dynamics in our lives, so that we're not so guarded, so that we can heal and we can bring up to the surface what needs to be healed, basically. So also this can be bringing up secrets about the mother or the father, about relationships that need to be healed again, brought to the surface to heal, power struggles with these people, so that you know, power struggles are going to be destroyed basically with these people, so that we can bring the light back and step out of the darkness, basically. And that Libra energy, because it's all about judgment of ourselves and judgment of others, so we're, you know, thinking about all these different things and how we can bring peace and harmony and balance back into this and into these relationships. So okay, all right, so that is most of the Pluto energy for the full moon. There is one more thing, is the trine. So we do have Saturn here too. Saturn is in Aquarius currently, so Saturn is all about the other people. So Saturn over here at 23 degrees, so we're at 3 degrees, so we're still in that 3-degree mark where we're really focusing the energy. Anything more than 3 degrees, we're getting out of the intense part of the aspect, and it's not really affecting us as much. So that trine there with Saturn in Aquarius. So the trine is, so Saturn in Aquarius is other people, it's society, it's communities, it's the government, it's the outside, you know, things in our life, authority figures and all that sort of stuff, basically. And it's about the bigger picture in Aquarius and the collective and humanity and all that as well. So the trine is offering us some kind of nice energy, some kind of opportunity. So it could be an opportunity for another perspective, so to talk with friends, to see the bigger, higher picture, to get serious about what we want out in the outside world, and with other people in the outside world and all that too. It's bringing us basically, yeah, so not just an opportunity, but also like to see the other perspective, and also what am I trying to say, to bring more harmony and ease, and to see the benefits that can come from us connecting with others and not just being centered on the self and all that as well, but because it's in that sextile too with the sun, but it's like the benefits of connecting with others, and for the benefits of like taking in other people's perspectives and not just focusing on the self and just us and being selfish and all that. It's looking to our community for support, looking to someone else that we can lean on and rely on, not like stepping out of our power, but that can, you know, show us the same values and show us that people that are in alignment with us, basically, and that are on the same path and that are there for our future and in alignment with our future, and that we are here to grow with and learn from and evolve with, and you know, do the bigger, higher things together that are, you know, for a bigger, higher purpose. Okay. That's pretty much it for most of the energy. So what I will do now is I'm going to go through each sign quickly and just let you know what area of life it will be affecting you, and then I'll do some personal readings looking at charts to see where exactly in your chart it might be hitting you, or affecting your life if it is. Okay. Oh, thanks, Dead King. Okay, so what am I going to do? All right, so I'm going to bring up each chart and we'll go through each sign. We'll do it old school like I used to do it on Twitch to make it easier to see what's happening. Okay. You will. Okay, so yeah, everybody go check out Dead King on Twitch. Anyone on YouTube, go to Twitch and check out Dead King. Dead King V7. Okay, all right, so paint. Where did you go, paint? All right, now let's bring up chart templates. As I said, I haven't done this for a while, so bear with me. Okay, perfect. Okay, so for Aries rising. Yeah, clip it. Okay, so what do we want with this? All right, so for Aries rising, so we have Aries here on the ascendant. Let me just fix up that pen so that it is thicker and better. All right, Aries there on the ascendant. So for Aries rising people, the full moon for you is going to be here in the 7th house. So the release point is you, the 1st house, the other perspective, the release point, and the Capricorn energy, the Pluto, where the truth can be revealed, the secrets can be coming up, where, you know, your values are being transformed, where, you know, the truth is coming out, all of that, where the power struggles are, any of that sort of stuff. So the 7th house, so the full moon, where you're releasing, where you're letting go, where you're coming to an ending culmination point, where you're finding that balance again, where you're needing to you know, see the other perspectives and all that, is within relationships, is actually, so for an Aries person, this chart is exactly spot on for the energies, because the chart, the houses, the signs are lining up exact in that, or it's opposite actually. It's not lining up exact, it's lining up opposite, but it integrates that energy because it's the polarity of those two signs. So it's actually a Libra rising chart, but Aries is the same opposite, if you get what I mean. So it's all about, yeah, relationships and relating to the other. The release point is you, so it's like about what you want. It's about what you the other perspective is like not just focusing on trying to people please everyone else and looking at what everyone else needs and what is best for everyone else. It's finding that balance in that, and, you know, making sure that you're bringing into it, you know, your perspective and what you need and what your wants and your desires are, and what you need to go after and all that too, and who you are and your identity, not getting lost in the other and everyone else and trying to, you know, do what everyone else wants you to do, basically. So it's finding that peace and that balance and that harmony within those. And the release, you know, the letting go, where the power struggles are coming from, where the restrictions are coming from, where it's where you need to yeah, it's the letting go. Also, it's transforming, where the transformation needs to happen, where the healing needs to happen, where the truth needs to be revealed, any secrets need to come out or anything like that. Is 10th house of career, work. It's your goals, your reputation, what you're wanting to achieve and do in the world. It's yeah, what you're building, what you're going after. So it's like the truth coming up about that, any kind of secrets coming up or being revealed. It's like bringing it to the surface, you know, your values around any of that stuff, and how you're identifying with all that, basically, and how it's identifying with you and who you are, and you know, making you transform and change that in some way so that's more in alignment with the bigger, higher purpose, and it is for a bigger, higher purpose, basically. Okay, so that's a lot. I hope that makes some kind of sense. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. I'm just going through the signs between Aries and Pisces as fast as I can. It's so much to process though. And then at the end, I'm going to look at individual birth charts. So if you hang around and you have your date of birth, time of birth, and location of birth, I can pull up your chart and we can have a look and see exactly where this energy is affecting you and if it's hitting any planets for you in your chart and how it's going to happen in your life, affect you in your life, which you'd be feeling it. So it's really just a confirmation, isn't it? Okay, so let's go on to Taurus. Taurus rising. Okay. Okay, so for Taurus rising. So Taurus on the ascendant. Now we have Libra in the 6th house. So we got Libra there in the 6th house. We have the Aries energy in the 12th house. So Libra, the full moon, the culmination point, the completion, the ending, the letting go, that for you is in the 6th house. So that's around your daily routine, your daily practices, what you do on a day-to-day basis, your health, your well-being, can be co-workers too, can be enemies, anything like that. So there's you know, where you're having that release point, another perspective, seeing things from another point of view, is that 12th house in that Aries energy. So so releasing, letting go, and ending culmination point for any of those things within that. So any kind of bad health habits or anything like that, because we've got that 12th house energy too. And the 12th house is all about our mental state. It's our higher self, our connection with God, the universe. It's our where we go to escape and retreat and heal as well. So any of that 12th house, that 6th house energy usually speaks about healing the self and healing the body and getting more in balance with our routines and our what we're doing on a day-to-day. It can be our work too, 6th house, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, you know, where we're overdoing it, where we're giving too much, where we're not filling up our own cup so much. So, you know, it could be working too much or doing too much other things, or and not focusing on like the health and what's best for us and what is going to help balance us out and keep, you know, peace and harmony within ourselves. And then, you know, if we've got peace and harmony within ourselves internally, then that's going to bring out peace and harmony within our relationships externally, basically, because everything's that mirror, that reflection. So Aries in that 12th house, so it's getting more, you know, that release point, other perspective is seeing it from the God, from the higher perspective, from, you know, getting more in touch with your intuition, your higher self, your divine connection. And, you know, that's the release point. So tuning into yourself more, meditating, doing, you know, yoga or spiritual practice or something that can help with that mental, that health, that balance, and creating that peace and harmony within yourself in that way, in somehow. And it's like retreat too. So if you're overdoing it, if you're doing too much on a daily basis, it's like finding those ways to balance and to find those places to retreat and to heal and to have like time away to well, Aries is like play as well, you know, and, you know, doing the things that are for you and that are going to help you to have like a good mental state as well, and focusing on what's going to bring more peace and harmony to the inside, basically. So where the letting go, where the square, the tension, where the something needs to be transformed and healed, where you need to evolve, where the secrets can be, where the truth needs to come out, where the walls need to come down, where we need to where the outside pressure is coming from too, is, you know, either from your beliefs, can be from like a religion or from growing up or something like that, from your ethics. It can be from your from things that are far away, or from a distance, or from overseas, or people that are at a distance, or things that are to do with other cultures or other religions, or to do with religion or something like that. It can be to do with our studies and to do with our higher education and any of those things as well, our philosophy, our views on the world. So any of those things, like secrets coming up, the truth coming up, it's being illuminated, brought to the surface. Deepest desires around those things, they can be transformed and healed and brought to the surface. They can be integrated as well. So anything around those things, when it's to do with the work and the health and what you're doing on a daily basis, and the 12th house, your true spiritual self, and your divine connection with, you know, your higher self and who you are, and you know what you're here to do on a daily basis, basically. So there's a big part of that coming into healing and finding balance there. And you know, the focus, it could be something too where it's like too much focus on the outside world and not enough focus on the inside world as well, maybe. And like getting you know, being more in alignment with your beliefs and who you are and what's true for you. Okay, so all right, so I'm sorry all these stream element notifications keep going off on Twitch. I haven't turned them off. I haven't been on Twitch for ages, so I apologize for that. Okay, so let's go to the next sign. Hopefully you get something from that, Taurus. It's just so much with this, all these energies. Okay, now let's go to Gemini rising. Okay, so for Gemini rising, so where the full moon is happening for you, so Gemini on the ascendant. So the full moon is happening where the releasing, the letting go, the culmination point, the celebration, the release, whatever it is for you, is the 5th house of our hobbies, what we love, what makes us happy, our romance. It's where we're trying to find that balance, and where we're trying to find harmony and trying to relate with others too, that 5th house. And it's you know, it can be children as well. So what's that? It's our heart, the 5th house. What's joyful for us, what makes us happy, our hobbies, our play, romance, passion, those things. The other perspective, the release point, the other point of view is the 11th house. So it's friends, friendship groups, networks, connections with communities, organizations, any of those things. So you know, you might be needing to release and let go where you've been overdoing it and giving too much or something, with a hobby, you know, in romance or with love or something like that, where you need to refine that balance. And, you know, maybe it's not focusing so much on that anymore and moving towards the focus, or, you know, listening to, or, you know, looking at more at the bigger, higher picture, your goals and aspirations, or communities and friendship groups and organizations and social circles and stuff like that, looking more towards that for advice, for help, for the release, for another perspective, and finding your true identity and self within those relationships with those people as well, and those dynamics with social groups and friends and friendship groups and all that. It's like you still being an individual and being yourself within all those relationships. So where something needs to be destroyed, transformed, healed, brought to the surface, any secrets that can come out, the truth being illuminated, where our shadow side needs to be integrated, all those things, is the 8th house. So that is very much that energy of the shadow self. So the 8th house is our trauma, our healing, it's our sex, death, transformation, it's our partner's money and resources, it's things that are taboo, it's intimacy as well, the 8th house, it's taxes, inheritances, insurances, banks, any of those sorts of things. So any money from outside sources, basically. So, you know, something needs to be transformed and healed there, something needs to be destroyed so that it can Dead King in his raid. Something that needs to be destroyed and healed and transformed, transmuted, where you've had too many boundaries, where, you know, it might be to do with sex and intimacy and not letting people in, or something like that too. Not letting, you know, friends in, having too many restrictions, need to letting walls down, needing to let romance and love in, letting the walls down there, any boundaries, having too many boundaries, any of that sort of stuff. Okay, so hopefully that gives you something to work with there, Gemini. And next sign is Cancer rising. Okay, so Cancer rising. So Cancer on the ascendant here. Okay, so for... Oh, hey, Dr. Doom. Someone talking in YouTube. I can't talk. I think it was just Melissa earlier who I spoke back with before. That's okay. Oh, Dr. Doom, thank you for the bits. This is so weird. I'm so used to like being on Twitch and looking at Twitch and being so interactive and know what's going on, but I'm looking at OBS and it's not as interactive and it's both of them and it's weird. So yeah, it's funny. Ah, what's going on there? Okay, I'm confused now. Oh, I'm spilling water on myself. Oh, you subbed, Doom? Thank you. And Gibbs subbed? Or is that you gifting subs, Doom? If it is, thank you, because I don't think I'll know if all those people would be subbing. Thank you, Doom. I appreciate it very much. You're very kind. Oh, yeah, okay. So for Cancer and Cancer rising people. All right, so all right, so we're looking at the full moon in Libra down here. Oh, it's a big circle. So the full moon in Libra, let me make that a bit bigger, it's cutting it off. Full moon in Libra, so the culmination point, the completion, the ending, the releasing, the letting go, where we've come to a point where we need to release and let go. And that is I figured it was more like a lecture. I'm watching like a student. Oh, Melissa, thank you. It is. It's sort of like helping you to understand and explain the energies as we go, and then I'll look at your individual charts as well. Thanks for hanging around, Melissa. So the releasing, letting go, all that, Libra. Fourth house is home, family. It's our heritage, our ancestors. It's where we go to have that safe place where we nurture and care and mother ourselves as well, and represent the mother, the fourth house, the family where we've grown up. So our home, so releasing could be like moving or releasing, you know, a place where we've lived and moving away from there or something like that. It could be releasing and letting go some kind of old family history or heritage or something that's no longer serving us there, something that's come to an end point. And it's to relationships too, so it could be relationships or something to relating to you know, the home, the family, anything like that as well. Completion, a celebration too, you know, could be a child moving out of the home, which is like a celebration, and it's like a new life for them, and it's like now the house has to transform and change in some way because someone's grown up and they're moving out of the home, especially with these the Saturn energy with the trine to Saturn. Saturn is it's a nice trine with Saturn, and it can just be about growing up. So someone growing up and moving out of the home or family or something like that. That's pretty cool. So where the other perspective, where the the other point of view, the release point is the 10th house, which is career, your work, your goals, your reputation, what you're doing out in the world, what you're building, what you're working towards. So any of that, basically. So looking towards if it is, you know, relationships within a home and family and that changing or something needing to release and let go there. So it could be that we now are, you know, looking at it from you know, what we want to do out in the world, and like, you know, this is where that, I guess, that mother energy where we've been spending at home and being the mother, and now we want to go out in the world and chase after our dreams and our goals and our careers and what we want to go after and what's right for us and all that, and not being so stuck in the home. And it can even relate to, you know, us being stuck in restrictions with COVID and all that, and now we can go out into the world and achieve and go after our goals and do what we want and achieve and work and do all these things, basically. So going from the home and being at home and nurturing and caring ourselves, now going out into the world and doing all these things, or seeing what the opportunities or possibilities are out in the world. So where the something needs to be destroyed, the truth needs to be brought up, secrets can be revealed, where Pluto wants us to evolve, to transform, where we're illuminating the shadow side and needing to integrate it. All of that is the 7th house. So that is relationships. So your one-on-one relationships, the way you relate with others, your business partnerships, it's our all of that, basically our relationships. So where something needs to be transformed, changed, released, let go, a part of that is the relationship. So it's as I said, it could be relationships within the family, relationships, it could be a relationship dynamic of ourself, the way we're identifying with that Aries energy too, within the family, within the home, that needs to be changed, healed, released, and let go, so that we can not be the mother anymore, or not be just the mother anymore, or just the father as well. Maybe we want to go out into the world and have relationships with people, and we've always just been focused on the children and the home and the family, and now it's like, no, everyone's doing their own thing, they've all grown up, that Saturn energy, everyone's grown up, they can take responsibility for themselves now, and now we needed to take responsibility for ourselves and what our desires and our passions are, and what we are identifying with out in the world, and go after that, basically. So yes, so I hope that that is helpful for you, Cancer rising, Cancer people. Okay, so so when you're looking at these two, you can always look at it from your rising sign, because it's the areas of our life that's affecting. You can look at it from your sun sign, because it will give you a bit of information about how you're identifying and how it's affecting you in some way. You can, and then you can look at it from your moon, from the feelings and emotions from another point of view if you want, for a little bit more information. But it's always going to be more relevant from the rising sign, because that's lining up the areas of your house and where these energies we're talking about are falling in what area of your life. Okay, so next is Gemini rising. Okay, I always plan to like have a short stream and get through things so fast, but it never happens like that, does it? Are you here, bestie? I haven't seen you comment. I just saw Doom's tag you. Are you here, bestie? Going on here. No. Oh, okay. I'm sure Giblet will tell me if something's wrong. Okay, so Gemini rising. So Gemini on the ascendant. So the full moon is in the 5th house of children. It's our hobbies, our passions, what we love, what makes us happy. It's our love and romance, our play, our pleasure, how we express ourselves from our hearts, because it's 5th house is the heart. So culmination, ending, releasing, letting go, completion, celebration with any of those things. And where the other perspective, so we're trying to rebalance, we're trying to relate better with others and have more harmonious relationships with those things. And the release point, the other perspective, the other point of view, is the 11th house, which is our friends, our friendship groups and circles. So this is going to start sounding familiar again, because now we're oh, hang on, no, that's not right, so let me take that back. This is sounding familiar because we're just talking about 5th house before, but it'll sound familiar again once we get to Libra rising. But anyway, so the 11th house is our friends, friendship groups, friendship circles, our higher aspirations, what we want to do for a bigger, higher purpose, our communities, our networks. So, looking to friends, they might have another perspective, another... I feel like I've already said this. I don't know why. Hang on, Cancer. I meant to go to Leo. Oh my God, I've already done Gemini. This is why it is sounding familiar. Oh my God. Okay, I got lost there. I have already done Gemini. I'm on to Leo rising now. I was like, I swear we've moved further ahead of this. Why are we only up to here? Okay, we have gone further. Oh, gosh. Okay, now I'm on track. Oh my gosh. Okay. Leo rising. Oh my god, I don't know why I was going backwards. Okay. So Leo rising. So, all right. So we're the release point, we're the celebration, the completion, the ending, the releasing, the letting go. For you is the third house. So the third house is communication. It's our writing, our talking, our speaking. It's our mind and thought processes. It's our early learning. It's how we learn. It's our siblings as well. It's our local environment. So any of those sorts of themes there, where there's a celebration, ending, completion, something coming to a culmination point, ending, releasing, letting go. We're the release point, the other perspective, where we're seeing things from another point of view, is the ninth house. So it's our higher education, our studies, our learning, our philosophy. I'm fucking so bad with that word sometimes. And you know, what we want to know about the world, and our long distance travel, our things that are at a far distance, that are overseas, that are foreign to us. So any of those things are giving us another perspective, another point. So it could be you wanting to find more balance and harmony within relationships and relating to others, and within the self, around, you know, the way you communicate and speak and talk and interact with others, and the way that you know, overthink things possibly, and the way that you are it's that communicating with others basically. And that ninth house is to do with your beliefs, and you know, you being more authentic in your communication and your talking and your speaking, because it's coming from, you know, a point of your identity of who you are within your beliefs and your ethics, and who you are and what you've worked out in the world, and what you know, want to see in the world and get out of the world too, because that ninth house is that Sagittarius ruled energy, which is like what we're putting our arrow towards in the world too. So it can be about you getting another perspective from, you know, being able to go from overseas and be able to see things from other points of view and other cultures and stuff like that too. So where the secrets are being revealed, where the truth is coming out, where there's an opportunity to transform and heal something, where something needs to be destroyed, or something to come to the surface and be transmuted, is the sixth house of your health, your routines, what you do on a daily basis, your well-being, your co-workers, it's your work, it's whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So any of those things where there's any power struggles around that. So where you're you know, not looking after your health and your body and you and all that, and you're like letting others or your outside environment in some way control that, and like your mind, you know, you're not having a healthy balance between the mind and the body. You're overthinking too much and spending too much time on your thoughts, and not putting enough action into like really looking after your body. And there's like a restriction there. There's like something that's needing to be changed or evolved in some way, to do with your health and your well-being and your mind, and the way you communicate and speak, and the way you go out into the world, and the way you interact with everyone on a daily basis as well. So any old health habits, bad health habits and all that as well, things like that as well, can be being transformed and healed. And that ninth house too, any old beliefs, you know, anything like any old beliefs, any old stories holding you back from being able to express yourself fully too, because that third house is expression, so how we express ourselves. So being able to fully express yourself into who you are and who you truly are, and not letting other people's beliefs and all that get in your way as well, but also considering other people's beliefs and other people's perspectives is a big part of it. So there could be, yeah, something to do with your education, your learning, what you're doing on a daily basis there, that needs to be transformed, changed, released, let go of. so that you can have more balance within your interactions with the world, with the way you communicate and you speak and you talk and the way that you express yourself, basically. Okay, Shredder, Bessie, take care. Okay, so that one was a little bit more tricky. I hope that you got something from that Leo rising, people. Okay, so let's go on to Virgo rising. Okay, so Virgo on the ascendant, so Virgo rising. So we're looking at Libra being here in the second house. We're looking at the other perspective, the release, the other perspective, the other point of view, the release point being Aries in the 8th house, and where you need to transform and change, where something needs to be destroyed, brought to the surface, secrets need to be revealed as 5th house. So second house, that full moon, that releasing, that culmination, that celebration, that ending, letting go, is around maybe your finances, around your money and resources, the way that you earn your money. It could be, and it's to do with relationships too, and relating with others and finding more balance and peace and harmony within those things. And also around your self-worth and your confidence and your skills and abilities. So there could be something there where you're coming to a completion. So maybe you've like learned a new skill and you're finished with it, and it's like to do with you know, the way that you can earn some money and your finances and your income, and the way you can provide security and support to yourself. So something coming to an ending, completion, releasing, letting go, there could be of, you know, even to do with, you know, around your self-worth and your confidence, endings, completions there, letting go of anything that is restricting you, that's holding you back, that's stopping you from stepping into your true power of who you are. And that 8th house, that release point, is to do with the healing. So it's bringing up some kind of trauma possibly to the surface, or another perspective around sex and intimacy and death, birth, any of those sorts of things. It's around other people's resources and money and finances. So it's like, maybe it's like you not necessarily having to always rely on yourself and look and be the one to do everything and support yourself and have this, all that security in that for yourself, but looking towards others to be able to integrate that and find support with other people, and through investments, maybe through taxes, inheritances, insurances, through your partner's money and resources, or something like that maybe. And where something needs to be brought to the surface and the truth is around love and romance. So it could be something to do with intimacy and all that, and your self-worth and your confidence, or something around there. And the 5th house is love, romance. It's our children as well. It's our hobbies, it's our passions, it's what lights us up, what makes us happy, what we love. So anything around those things that needs to be destroyed, transmuted, changed, that needs to be forced up to the surface, to be healed, to be transformed there, so that you can step into the true power of what you love, what makes you happy, what you want to move forward with and create in this world, and the goals you want to have, basically. Perspective, yeah, always. Hey, Big Chewy, how are you? I actually thought about you the other day. I actually thought about your drawing. Actually saw it. How are you? That's funny that you thought of me today. Am I Virgo rising? Why are you asking that, Melissa? I am. That's funny. I am a Virgo rising. Oh, what are you, Melissa? Okay, so I hope that gave you something, Virgo risings. Let's move on to Libra rising. Libra rising. Okay, so for Libra rising. Oh, you're a Virgo rising too. Oh, I hope that you got something out of that just then. I'm a late degree Virgo rising, so I listen to Virgo, but I really listen to Libra more because the planets line up more in those houses, not because I'm such a late degree, I'm like 23 degrees. So yeah, but it's still, you know, from a whole sign perspective, Virgo will always still resonate me to some degree because it's still hitting those points in your chart, depending. I do Placidus, so for me Placidus is yeah, obviously more accurate. And sorry, Melissa, I'm streaming on Twitch at the same time, so when I'm talking to other people, because they're on Twitch, because you can't see that in YouTube. Big Chewy, I'm doing all right, getting ready to my first drawing event of the year coming up. Actually, finally, it's been too long. Oh, that's awesome, Big Chewy. I hope it goes well for you. That's amazing. You're very artistic, so that's really good. Okay, so I'm glad that was accurate for you, Melissa. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Woody woo, Dead King. Okay, so for Libra rising. So Libra on ascendant. So now we're looking at the full moon. It's your full moon, Libra. So our Libra rising people. So where the full moon is happening. So the completion, the ending, culmination, where we're coming to the end point, where we're releasing, we're letting go. It's in the first house. It's all about you, your identity, who you are, what you're about, the way you present yourself, the way you come across. It's your body, and where that release point, that other perspective, where we're seeing things from another point of view, is that seventh house. So of relationships, relating with the others, our one-on-one relationships, our business partnerships, and how we relate with others. So for you, it's possibly so releasing and letting go of the need to do everything alone and rely on yourself and be the independent warrior and fight for everything and do everything alone and be alone and all that. And it's, you know, integrating the part to be in relationship with others and not needing to be alone, but still be an individual, but within relationships and with others. So it's releasing and letting go of that need to just be alone and do everything by yourself, maybe, or releasing and letting go of your identity that is false and isn't really who you are, that is maybe related to someone else or the outside world, or what other people are expecting of you to be, or other relationships, or your relationships, what your relationships are expecting of you. There's that releasing, letting go there of something to do with that. And it's the other perspective is coming from the other people, from relationships. So taking into, and it could be where you've been too selfish too and too focused on yourself, and you haven't been integrating and relating with others and considering the relationships and all of that as well. So yeah, moving into that, more of that energy of considering the other and considering the other perspective and other people in your life and what they're feeling and the way they are and all that as well. So there can be, you know, the part of that, or it's we're focusing too much on that and finding that balance, because it's all about finding the balance and the peace and the harmony within relationships and the way we're relating with others, and finding that peace and harmony within ourselves and balance, where we're giving too much or we're giving or receiving too much. So giving too much, also not receiving enough, or maybe receiving too much because we're being selfish, whatever it is, but finding that balance where we can have an equal of giving and receiving, to create that harmony, basically. So there's not that conflict and there's not that resentment that builds up, because that can be the sign of Libra too, where they're the peacekeeper and they bottle things up and they keep things down, and it leads to resentment because they're not speaking up and they're not speaking their truth and saying how they really feel, because they don't want to hurt anyone else or hurt anyone else's feelings. They don't want to start conflict and war. Like the Aries energy is more about starting conflict and war and speaking up and just, you know, doing what they want and not considering the other. So where something needs to be destroyed, where secrets can be coming up, where the truth can be being revealed, where our deepest desires are coming up. So this just brought something to my mind. We're talking about fourth house. So this could be like you realizing now that you don't need to be alone. You can have those relationships, and the truth coming up is that you want a home and a family. You want to have like a home and a family, and maybe children and stuff, or whatever it is, but you want to have that real home and that real family and that real partnerships, and you want to have that union. You're feeling restricted, and you felt stuck, and you felt like there needs to be change there so that you can have that, basically. And that's what needs to happen so that you can have that. You need to let go of all those things with those Libra, the selfishness, the overdoing, the over analyzing. It's not over analyzing, but the doing, it's not having that balance and harmony or whatever, all that stuff, so that you can have this, basically, if that's what you want, if that's the truth coming up, or there's secrets coming up within the home and the family, within relationships, which is causing something to end or come to a completion or a finishing point or something like that as well. So any kind of intimacy issues, any kind of power struggles within the home or the family coming to the surface to be transformed, transmuted, healed, any kind of boundary, where we had too many walls up, too many boundaries. We've been restricting ourselves, holding ourselves back. We haven't been showing up and taking responsibility, all those sorts of things, basically. Yeah. So that's pretty good for Libra rising people. So it's finding that balance again within relationships. Yeah, the give and take, basically, as well. So because it's like us as well, it's like our ego and our identity and things that aren't true within us could be ending as well. Okay, so for Scorpio rising people. Okay, so for Scorpio on the ascendant, we've got Libra over here in the 12th house, and we've got Aries in the 6th house. So and we've got Capricorn in the 3rd house. So where the full moon is illuminating, where we need to complete, end something, celebrate, come to the completion of your ending, releasing, letting go, all of that. 12th house is our escapism, where we go to retreat. It's our connection with God, the universe, our higher self. It can be hospitals and institutions where we get locked up. It's our self-sabotaging behavior as well. And it's, Libra, we're all about finding balance and peace and harmony within those things, our mental state, our psychological state, all of that. So finding balance and peace and harmony within those themes. And the relationship with ourselves and our higher self and our connection with God and the universe and our intuition and our divine connection. And with a release point where we can get another perspective, see things from another point of view, is the 6th house, which is our health, our well-being, what we're doing on a daily basis, our exercise, our body. So, where, so the release point, so it could be, where we've been too much in our heads and not having a healthy mental mindset, not having that healthy connection with our intuition, where we've been escaping too much, where we haven't had that balance and that peace and harmony within an area of our lives, where we've needed to escape, or we have to retreat all the time and hide away. And it's like now finding that balance within us, having more healthy daily routines and practices. So getting up and going to bed on time, or doing going for walks, or doing exercise, or having a healthy diet and lifestyle, having not overdoing it at work and overworking and all of that sort of thing, so that we can have some balance and peace and harmony within our mind, our mental state, and also our body and our health and what we're doing on a daily basis, basically. So where we need to see the truth, where the secrets need to be revealed, where something needs to be transformed, the shadow needs to come up, where we need to integrate, where Pluto wants us to evolve, transform, and change, is the 3rd house. So it's our mind. So this is exactly relating to that. So it's our mind, our thought processes, our thinking, our communication, our speaking. All of that needs to be transformed and healed. So we could be having some truthful conversations come up, the truth coming up about how we're thinking and what we're really feeling as well, because it's the moon, it's illuminating, it's our feelings and emotions coming up to the surface, then being expressed, us being able to truly express our deepest feelings and desires, and to be able to communicate them and speak them, and to be able to talk about them and relate with them in relationships and with people in the outside world, basically. So it's, you know, where we've been, what I said before about, so it's overthinking, and where we've been in that darker side, where we've been just like mulling on our thoughts and our feelings and our thoughts and all that, and not like talking about them and speaking about them and all that. So this is transforming so we can truly express ourselves, and we can talk from a space of truth and of who we truly are and what really matters to us as well. And it's, you know, where we've had too many boundaries with our speaking and our communication, where we need to let the walls down and really tune into our higher selves and what's really true for us, and speak from our soul, basically speak from our soul, not from our mind and our overthinking and our toxic thoughts, basically. Helping to heal and transform those so that they're healthy, so that we can have healthy mind and body, basically. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, for Sagittarius rising. Okay, so we're getting there. Hello, Sister Blue, beautiful, how are you? Thanks for being here. Okay, so Sagittarius rising, so Sagittarius on the ascendant. So we're looking at Libra, full moon, releasing, letting go, culmination, celebration, ending point, rebalancing, finding harmony, peace, balance within your relationships with your friends, your friendship circles, your friendship circles, your groups, your communities, your higher aspirations, what you're doing for a bigger, higher purpose. Finding some kind of balance, peace, harmony with those things. And where the release point, where you can find some another point of view, another perspective, is the 5th house. And that's to do with what you love, what's making you happy, what's lighting you up, what's true for you, that's going to bring you romance and passion, and what's it could be to do with your hobbies, you know, you integrating that, you know, like your higher aspirations and your hobbies together, and seeing the coming to the truth of like what you really want, what's in your heart, what's really going to help you to like achieve in the world and really go after what you want and you desire and what makes you happy. And it's also that other perspective, finding that balance and that peace and harmony too. It's like the 11th house too can be where we've been too stuck on the outside world, the outside expectations, what the outside world is expecting of us, what the people, society, governments, whoever is expecting of us, what they want us to do, what they're we've been focusing too much energy on that, you know, and it's where we need to release and let go and go towards what's going to make us happy, what's going to light us up, and what's really going to help us to move into those true friendships, those soul connections, those soul groups, those higher aspirations, things that we can really do for a bigger, higher purpose, that are for humanity, that are for the collective. So where the truth is coming to the surface, where secrets can be revealed, where you need to let go of the boundaries and let the walls down, is around where something needs to be transformed and healed, is around like your self-worth and your confidence, and around your security and your financial security and your worth and your finances and your property and any of those sorts of things, your resources. So and control issues too. So it's like where you've been not having enough control, or controlling too much in any of those situations. So You know, you could be trying to control your destiny and your future too much, and you need to just trust and release and let go, and trust that if you follow your heart and your true passions and your desires and what makes you happy, and it's for a bigger, higher purpose, and you know that, and it's not from a selfish point of view, and it's not from just about you, and it's integrating what you want and what is good for other people and for society, and not letting any of the outside influences make you feel small or not confident, and that you're transforming that. It's an opportunity to transform any of that, where you can really step into the truth and your true power of who you are and your true skills and abilities. So it's like you stepping into the truth that you are powerful, you have all these skills and abilities, you have enough self-worth and confidence to go out into the world, to go after your aspirations and what you want, to be able to do what you love, to do what makes you happy, and not feel restricted and feel stuck, and be able to let the walls down and go after those things, and to stop holding yourself back from going after all of that. From letting people in, from you having enough self-worth and confidence, transforming that, bringing up to the surface to be healed, you stepping into your true power of being confident and being that, so that you can have the love and the romance that you want, and have the relationships that you want, and it all be for a bigger, higher purpose and for big aspirations, and have the friendships that are true and that are balanced and in harmony, and there's not too much give and not enough take and all that sort of thing. Like, it's balanced, basically. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for you. And that you can rely on yourself and your resources and your skills and abilities to be able to go have what you want, and that you'll have the support of the community and your friends and all that at the same time, trusting in all that and having trust that everything is will work out, and that it if you step into the power, into your true power, and you let things and people in and let your guard down. Okay, so for Capricorn rising, okay, so for Capricorn rising, Capricorn on the ascendant. So this is the Libra full moon, releasing, letting go, a culmination point and ending, a celebration coming through in your 10th house of career, your work, your goals, what you're doing, what you want to build out in the world, your reputation, your career. So anything kind of ending, coming to a completion, celebration there. Where the release point, the other perspective, where you're seeing things from another point of view, is the home and the family, where you're needing to find that balance and that harmony again. So you could have been just overworking out in the world, doing too much, giving too much, doing too much work, working too hard, focused on your goals too much, and not focused on the home and the family, and having that really safe place to nurture and care for yourself, having a good foundation. So one of the most important things, if we want to go out into the world and create and have to be able to do all these things, so we have to have a good foundation that we're coming from. Otherwise it can just fall apart and we've got nothing to fall back on. So we need to have a good foundation, home and our family. Doesn't mean we have to have a home and family, just somewhere that we have that's supportive to us, that we nurture and care for ourselves. But it's also the home and the family and what we're building there. So the other perspective might be, you know, looking at finding that balance. Like, you've been spending too much time at work, and now you need to find some time and balance and harmony to spend some time with the family, so that you can have more time with that, you know. And also, or it's like you not having enough time for yourself and to nurture and care for yourself, because you're spending too much time out on work and career and your goals and trying to create and do all these things out in the outside world. So where the secrets are being revealed, where the truth is coming out, what's being illuminated, where our deepest desires are coming up to the surface, the shadow side, where we need to integrate, where we need to transform and heal, where the higher octave of Mars, that Pluto energy, is coming out, our deepest desires, where we need to let the walls down, where we need to let our guard down. For you is around you, your identity, who you are. So there's some kind of transformation needs to happen within you and your body and you and who you are and the way you're presenting yourself out in the world and what you're doing. So it's like, maybe you don't want to be that workaholic anymore. You want to be the family person, or maybe you want to like just transform your reputation in some way out in the world. So you need to transform you and change you. And maybe that ties back to your family and your support network and your security in your home in some way. There's something tied in with all those things where there needs to transform, you need to change, and you let the walls down. And it's all about you and your identity and who you are, and to do with your career and what you're doing in the outside world and your reputation, and to do with your home and family and where you have a safe place to nurture and care for yourself and have stability and somewhere to look after yourself. Okay, so second last sign, Aquarius rising. Okay, so for Aquarius rising people, for the aliens, don't hate on me, Aquarius people, please. Okay, so for Aquarius rising people, so Aquarius on the ascendant, we have the Libra full moon up in the 9th house. So completion, ending, celebration, where you're releasing, letting go, where you're celebrating, where you're finalizing something. For you is the 9th house of long distance travel, things that are overseas or foreign, things, your higher education and learning, your beliefs, your ethics, marriage too can be the 9th house. So and because we're talking about relationships too, so it could be an ending within a relationship or a marriage or some kind of partnership, something there, something to do with your beliefs, some kind of endings around relationships and your beliefs and the way that you know are in relationships because of your beliefs, because of your religion. There could be something there for you with ending or completion or finaling, something to do with like yeah, any of those things like long distance travel, things that are overseas or foreign, or people at a distance sort of thing, any of that sort of stuff, some kind of ending, completion point there. And where the other perspective is where you can look for a release point for this full, because the release point is all about the full moon pressure building up, and it's like helping us to release those emotions and that energy from another point. And that other point is through communicating, through speaking, through talking, through networking, through your siblings, through short distance travel, through your learning, through your expression of yourself. So there's something there where you can help you to release and let go and celebrate and come to that completion, that ending point, and find more balance and harmony within those things. And it's to do with you expressing yourself and your identity and who you truly are and your thoughts and what's right for you, and what is your plans and your desires and what you want to achieve and work towards as well. And where the transformation needs to happen, where you can something needs to be destroyed, brought to the surface, revealed, illuminated, where we need to let the walls down and we need to transform and transmute and let go of control, where trust issues could have been. And it's to do with your 12th house, which is your higher self, your connection to God, the universe. So you might not have been trusting yourself. You don't trust yourself or trust your connection or trust your intuition or trust that gut feeling. There's something there around that, possibly around you needing to escape and self-sabotage. So releasing and letting go and transforming all that, any kind of like bad behaviors or habits or anything around those things where you're needing to transform, transmute, bring to the surface any power struggles around those things. So the mental state too is that 12th house. So power struggles around like our mind, and the 3rd house is the 3rd house and 12th house too. So it's like where we're having heart battles in a sense. So it's like where we're just stuck in our head and where we're like just can't get out of it, and we're just in our thoughts and in our not in our like true divine intuition, our higher self, where we're connected to God, the universe, where we feel that most spiritual connection, but in that more negative one where we're depressed, where we go to drugs and alcohol, we go to escape, where we get locked up and in institutions, any of those things. So it's a releasing and letting go of old behaviors, transforming any of that toxic energy, releasing and letting go of any of those things, so that we can have more harmony and more balance within our mind, that Aries energy, and release and let go of old beliefs and old stories that are holding us back, that are no longer serving us within those things as well. You know, there's something there to do with like, it could be to do with us, our education and our learning as well. And releasing and letting go of something that's no longer serving us, or that's not a part of our soul evolution in some way, that's not a part of our spirituality as well. That's a big one for Aquarius rising people. We're stuck in our mind and not communicating and talking and speaking enough so that we can have good relationships and relate with others in some way with that Aquarius energy. Okay, last one, Pisces rising, and then we can look at some individual charts. This has been a long stream. I thought I was only going to stream for an hour or two. I don't even know how long it's been. I can't see that. I can't see how many people are watching. I can't see how long I've been going. I don't know any of that. Okay, so last sign, Pisces rising. And then we'll look at some individual charts. Like ruminating. Yes. Okay. Yeah, ruminating, like just stuck on things and all that. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Pisces rising, Pisces on the ascendant. Okay, so we've got the Libra full moon, where we're releasing, letting go, completion, culmination, ending point, celebration, and the release point, the other perspective, where we can see things from another point of view, is the second house. So the 8th house, the releasing, the letting go, the completion, ending, could be around anything to do with like sex, and because we're talking about relationships too, any kind of intimacy issues within relationships, any kind of like anything to do with sex and healing, and things that are taboo, and like our shadow side and our darkness and anything like that. So there could become some kind of releasing, finishing, completion, ending point to do with those sorts of things. 8th house is also other people's resources and finances and money. So releasing and letting go of maybe we've completion, maybe we've finished paying off our mortgage, we've finished paying off a loan or something, or something's coming through from some taxes, an inheritance coming through, something like that. Completion, ending, releasing point, any of those things. And the release, so some kind of healing, transformation, 8th house too, other people's resources, money, healing, transformation, intimacy, sex, death, rebirth, 8th house themes, any of those sorts of things coming to the light, coming to the surface, our emotions, our feelings around it, and our relating to others to be released and healed. And the release point, the other perspective, is the second house. So it's like your skills and abilities, your finances, your resources. So it's like you don't need to rely on someone else's resources maybe anymore, because you can rely on yourself and your own resources and your own skills and abilities, your own self-worth and your own confidence. Or that's because you've being able to step into that, or if you step into the power of that, you can then release those things of needing to rely on other people's resources, money and all that. Or there's the part of you that is releasing and healing the trauma, any kind of trauma that's trauma that needs to be brought to the surface to heal, because the 8th house is trauma too, around you and who you are, because it's the identity too, and around sex and intimacy and all that, and relating with others. And the second house too, around self-confidence and worth. So it's like, let's see where this 11th house, this Capricorn energy is first before I say that. But what I was going to say is that, yeah, some kind of healing possibly to do with the way you relate and with others and your confidence and all that. And so it's like you can step into your true sexual power, because that 8th house too, true sexual power, and have deep, intimate relationships with others where you can have sex and intimacy and truth, and not have all the trauma and fears and all that holding you back and in the way of having that, basically, and have that self-confidence and that ability within yourself to have those things. So where something needs to be destroyed, evolved, changed, transformed, where the walls need to come down, where we've had too many boundaries with trust issues, control issues, is around Friends, friendship groups, friendship circles, outside the outside world, the society. So it's like, you know, this could be something where it's like you want to. Okay, so for the Twitch lovers here, the Twitch people here, you want to embrace your kinks, your dark side, your shadow side, whatever it is. And society is saying, has said to you, you can't do that. That's not okay. It's not good for society. It's taboo. It's too out there. You can't be, you know, you can't be a porn star. You can't be this. You can't do that sort of thing or whatever, because it's too taboo. It's not. It's too sexual. Whatever it is, sort of thing. It's like transforming that, releasing and letting go of, destroying those societal standards. Releasing and letting go. It's like bringing the truth to the surface of that, like, and yeah, it's destroying those society things. So something like that could be, that's just an example, you know. It's like where outside influences, where friends or people are, you know, are holding you back, that are restricting you, that are causing power struggles, or social groups or communities or organizations that you're part of that are stopping you from stepping into that true power of who you are and who you want to be and how you want to relate with the world and with other people, and having that self-confidence and that ability to really support yourself as well. And that 11th house, that outside influences, that also could be, if we're talking about Libra and the money, the money side of it, with that Libra energy, the releasing, letting go of other people's resources and finances and all that. So it's like you are letting go of the need to rely on that, and you can rely on your own finances and skills and abilities to create your own resources and support and finances, so that you can go out into the world and create and go after your higher aspirations and what you want to do for a bigger, higher purpose, basically. So it's releasing and letting go of the restrictions and the boundaries, and you holding yourself back from that, or anyone that's holding you back from that, basically. Okay, so that is it for all the signs. I hope that you all get something out of that for your sign. Again, listen back for your rising first, then you can listen a bit for your sun, and if you want more, you can listen for your moon as well. So that is the full moon in Libra. I still have to make another video at some point now about the weekly astrology, but I think I'll do that midweek like I've been doing lately. It's a little bit less pressure on my weekend. So that's all the signs. Thank you for staying with me. Now I'm going to go through some individual charts. I'll just need your date of birth, time of birth, and your place of birth. And I can bring up your chart. We can have a look and we can see where these energies are exactly hitting, if they're hitting on anything specific in your chart, and what it means for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is quickly go to the toilet. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So get your birth details ready, and then you can paste them in chat. And then anyone who wants me to look at your chart, I'll have a look at a few charts. I'll probably look at like 3 or 4 charts. We'll see how many we can get through. All right, so I'll just do that for a second. Okay, I will be back in 2 minutes, and Melissa, we will start with you. You've been very patient. So thank you, everyone, and I will be 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. All right. So, all right. Oh, hey, it's Caroline is here. Hello, lovely fellow Australian. Okay. All right, first we're going to look at Melissa's chart. Then we're going to look at, hey, it's Caroline's chart. And then we'll see who else is next. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Make sure you give Hey It's Caroline a follow if you haven't already. She's a streamer on Twitch. I'm pretty sure she plays games. I haven't been on Twitch watching many people for a while, except for my bestie Shredder, of course. But I used to watch Caroline a little bit. Okay. Oh, February is the 2, not sure the other there for month and day. Okay. So now let's bring up your chart now. Oh, I just closed. Oh no, I didn't close my software. That's okay. All right. Now we want a new chart. All right, let me just scroll back up so I don't lose your details. Here we go. And we've got the 5th of February, I think. 5th of the 2nd, 1997, 8:42, 2 p.m. 5th of Feb. Is that your birthday, 5th of Feb? I know a lot of people with 5th of Feb birthday. One of my best friends growing up, not even growing up, one of my best friends, I guess, in real life, is the 5th of Feb. Silver Spring. Okay. Now I hope that the place is correct. Okay, so Silver Spring MD.